This week, I'm posting a video of a resume review that I'm doing for someone that reached out to me via LinkedIn recently. He was gracious enough to allow me to share my thoughts and opinions with the rest of my community, and I'm going to take a page out of Terry Twiggs' book and try and do this resume review in less than 5 minutes so I can capture just my highest level thoughts and show a couple of examples. So let's start the clock. I'm going to start by quickly scrolling through just so we know what we're working with, and to pinpoint a couple of examples that I think could really help highlight some core messages that I have. And it really boils down into two sections. The first being formatting, and the second is focused more around the types of stories that this person is telling and whether or not I think he's highlighting his best assets. Let's start with formatting because I think it's a little bit easier to showcase. If you look at the highlights and qualifications bullet text, you'll notice that the text is bolded and italicized. When I scroll down to other work experience, for example, the text is not bold and it also has no italics. Then, when I scroll down to volunteer experience, suddenly the italics are back. As a rule of thumb, what I usually recommend is to keep each level of text consistent. What I mean by that is all the header one text, like education and other work experience, should be one format, and then all your bullet text should be another format, but those two areas should always be consistent. You also want to make sure that you're saving things like bold or italics for very specific areas of the resume instead of having entire sections, just so that you're really able to point the reader's eye into the things that you really want them to focus on. Now let's talk a little bit about alignment as well. You'll notice, for example, under 2019 and 2015 in this section, that after 2015, there's actually an extra space. And you want to make sure that everything is actually properly aligned. A good tip that I have for that is just simply drawing a line. And then immediately you'll notice that there actually is an extra space under 2015. The same can be done for bullet text as well. So you'll see here that there's an extra indentation on the second line. The reason why I think it's important to have these types of alignment very, very consistent is because you want to make sure that it's easy for the eye to skim, but also that the recruiter is able to show, or the recruiter is able to see, rather, that you're very detail oriented, that you're not going to let these little things fall through the cracks. The same note applies for formatting when it comes to the way that you structure your individual lines or experiences. So for example, here you have where this person did this degree, and then the location as well. Under the first area, you have the institution or the school, but we're missing the location. So again, you just want to make sure that things are hyper consistent. Now let's move on to talk about the actual stories and bullet points. There are two examples that really caught my eye. The first one is the first point, over 2 years of experience in customer service. I know immediately because it's the first point that he's talking about that it's the most important, but also maybe an area of expertise. So there's some opportunity here to actually bring some more color into it. How did you provide customer service? Was it in person? Maybe it was on the phone, via email, live chat, or maybe you're well versed in all those things and you have some statistics to back it up, right? Generated 95% customer satisfaction, or whatever metric might work for you. That will just bring some more interest and some more context into what you're really, really good at. The other example that I really wanted to highlight is under the sales associate opportunity called Training New Employees for Work. I love that he included training in this experience because it shows that he has a level of expertise and that he knows exactly what he's doing if he's going to be training other people. How can we make this even stronger? I think it's really important to first talk about maybe the areas in which you train somebody, so that not only do I know that you're really adept at training people, but that you also are very familiar with other topic areas. So let's say you train people on having difficult conversations and also persuading customers to buy products. That's something that will really highlight not only that you know how to train people, but that you also are really well versed in persuasion and handling tricky conversations. So you're kind of subtly adding in a secondary skill into this major bullet point. Something else that you could do to make this even stronger is to provide some context. Did you train one person or did you train a group of 20 people in a workshop environment? Because those are very different skills that you're leveraging. And one might be more aligned to the type of job that you're applying to now. So bringing that scale of work that you've done will be really, really important to really highlighting what makes you different and what makes your skill set unique. Oh gosh, I can't believe it's already 5 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up and just recap really quickly the types of things that I think are important. The first is the overall formatting. You want to make sure that everything is consistent. And then when you're telling stories using your bullet points, take that opportunity to showcase the context, the channels in which you were able to do things, and maybe the scalability as well, just to really highlight, as I said, your best assets and your best experiences.